The final game that I am potentially the best game of the weekend. Like eh, Texans Chargers is probably in that conversation.
Could be the most exciting for sure.
This could be the most exciting. I think it will be the most exciting game of the weekend. Bears and Niners in Santa Clara. Vegas has this one at Niners being home favorites at 3 points. I think that's probably fair given the way that the Niners have played so far this season. I think they are the biggest shock across the NFL. I don't think there is a bigger shock of how well they're playing.
Is
12 wins,
but
missing most of their
is that
defense, having their
is
starting
there any
quarterback out.
is there any other reason for that really besides Fred Warner being out? Like their defense is playing like at a high standard, and they don't have their best like one of the best middle linebackers in their history.
I think their defense is down something like 7 starters, like guys who were starting at the beginning of the
None
season
of
and
them are
out due
as
to injury.
impactful as a Fred Warner, dude. Like
That's
that's your
that's fair.
Mike linebacker who's one of the best in their history. Like he doesn't
One of the best
he's
in the
not
league.
like he's really not Patrick Willis to me, but like Fred Warner is still a monster and like just makes every play out there. So to lose a guy like that and still they only have how many losses?
4 losses. They're
Four
currently
losses.
11-4.
Like
Yes.
and I know you go through all that stuff with Brock Purdy this year, but regardless of the money spent on the guys, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy aren't that much different of a quarterback. So, um, yeah, I Fred Warner being gone and the 49ers being where they're at, I would have never you asked me that the week that Fred Warner goes down, there's no shot. There's no shot. I think they end up where they're at right now.
I, even if they had for like I even if they had him, I would have sat here and told you they're losing every week. Though we both agree Brock Purdy is not that good of a quarterback and doesn't deserve. We don't believe that he deserves the contract that he's received. And I think it's shown this year because they've been able to win multitude of games with Mac Jones at the helm. Christian McCaffrey has stayed healthy and stayed in the games. Their number one receiver, Brandon Ayuk, hasn't played a single snap this season and probably never will for the 49ers again, which
Yeah.
leaves their number one receiver to be Juwan Jennings and their number two to be Sky Moore when he's not on injured reserve. And you've also got George Kittle, who's missed a multitude of games this season as well. What Shanahan has been able to do, what Bob Sala has been able to do, just around the whole team is incredibly surprising. Would did did not think that they would be in this position, and I think it means more to them to win this game this week, that stay in competition for the division and for potentially the number one seed. Even though the Bears are right there for the one seed, um, they don't necessarily need this to win their division. They play the Lions next week. I mean, they still need to stay in it. If they lose two and the Packers win two, Packers win the division and take probably the 3 seed at that point. I would guess, depending on how things shake out with the Eagles. Um, but I think it just means a little bit more to the Niners, even though they've got the division, or excuse me, a playoff spot locked up, just like the Rams do. The Rams, the Niners, the Seahawks, the Bears, they're all competing for that number one seed.
Yeah, I mean this game is like a really cool and fun matchup this late in the season, given where both teams are at. But just the matchup itself, like I think the Bears have more offensive talent, even when the Niners are fully healthy. But honestly, it's crazy how much CMC can just completely carry them. So if the Bears get their turnovers, like the Bears are up there with the Jags, I want to say, when it comes to turnovers in the NFL. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But
I believe so.
when when the Bears get their turnovers and they keep giving their offense opportunities, like keeping their offense out on the field is generally a good thing, honestly, across the board in the NFL. So if the Bears continue that trend and can force some turnovers in this game, um, easily the Bears will win this game. But if we're just in just kind of like a slugfest and both defenses are making plays here and there, CMC is going to town, and you're running the ball a lot with D Swift. Hang on just a second. Dude, it's so annoying. But I mean, this is this is football at its finest in late season game or late stage in the season. This is what we friggin' watch football for, man. Like the both of these teams could get the number one seed, and they're gonna fight like hell for it. You know this is going to be a highly contested matchup. Don't expect it to be a blowout on either side. But this is this should be the best game of the week.
Something to watch out for in this game from the Bears' perspective. Defense hasn't been that great outside of turnovers and taking
Getting
away
their
the ball.
turnovers.
It, expect CMC to have a hell of a week. He'll probably win.
Yeah.
If you've got him, he's probably going to win you your fantasy
League
championship.
winner.
But from from the
He
Bears'
finally turned out to
perspective,
be a smart. I mean, he was a smart draft pick last season, right? He played the whole
yep,
season. Yeah.
yes.
2 years in a row, smart draft pick, CMC.
From the Bears' perspective, they're missing some firepower. Luther Burden is out. He's been out for a couple of games. Rookie he hasn't been that involved because you've got Roma Dunze and DJ Moore. But guess what happened last week? No Roma Dunze. DJ Moore was the highlight of the Bears' offensive fire. Him and Olade Zaccheaus, who's been a surprise name. He's usually wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, wherever he goes.
He
Zaccheaus
got decent work. He got decent work at the beginning of the season because they've
and
had injuries here and there with their wide receiver core. So
yes, and he's going to get some work this upcoming week
I think it's
because as
mostly
of right
been
now,
Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze's had on and off injuries.
yes, and we didn't see him last week. We didn't see him the week before. He does have a fracture, a slight fracture, and he could be out this week as he tries to heal up for the playoffs. They do have the playoffs locked up. It would be a shame should they not win the division and take a top 3 seed, but at this point, you don't know what you're going to get
But even when you miss a piece like Roman Dunze, like they're deep when it comes to offensive weapons because
in play calling.
you don't tend to factor in how good their tight ends are too. I know Colson Loveland is young, but arguably the best tight end to come out of the draft, just like technically. Um, but Cole Kmet is also solid. Like he's a solid target. Was like pretty highly sought after coming out of college, and when you land two targets like that, that just kind of supplement your already talented wide receiver room. Like they're sneaky talented, and like they don't. I don't know if they get really talked about as much as they should, but like Caleb Williams not throwing interceptions like is plenty fine for what they have on offense. Like they have two good running backs, and they have amazing talent to throw the ball to. So if he's just careful, if
100%.
if you want to label that as being a game manager, that's kind of fine. Like I don't think Caleb Williams is like a superstar by any means. Like I think he's good, but if all he does is be careful with that football, they will succeed. And the defense complementing that by getting turnovers this year, I think they have a good shot of beating the 49ers.
That and you touched on it just briefly, but the run game. I think the run game is slept on tremendously. They've got two great running backs in DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. Not only in being able to run the ball, time of possession, really slow the game down, and opens up that field for the passing game. They pass protect really, really, really well, which has been a game changer for Caleb Williams this year. And maybe Caleb Williams isn't that star yet, but one of his best traits that has helped out this season and by not turning the ball over has been that pass protection in the backfield and being able to roll out and just find somebody, slow the game down a lot for him. And I think that works with the receivers that he's got. Zacchaeus, DJ Moore, and when Rome Odunze is healthy, those guys can go unscripted with the best of them, be able to get themselves open. And Caleb Williams has been able to use his feet. I think that's going to carry them a long way. I, maybe not in this game. We'll have to see. 49ers are very, very good defensively, but I think it can carry them a far ways in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I think I've been wrong a few times about the team that you don't want to play in the playoffs. Um, but yeah, you don't want to play the Bears, dude. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
I mean,
The
you,
NFC,
you got a young quarterback,
The NFC does look way better than the AFC this year right now.
but I think the Super Bowl winners coming out of the NFC this year, without a doubt.
I think so too.